My name is Kaisha and I am from Ingalls, Kansas, and I am a former athlete for the Wichita State track and field team. I have been involved in athletic activities since I was about in 3rd grade. Throughout high school, even throughout grade school, I did basketball, volleyball, track, gymnastics. I was involved in something all year round. For track though, I started about in 3rd grade and I did junior Olympics, and then I competed in track all throughout junior high and high school, and then in college I came to Wichita State to do track. I loved competing in track and field here at Wichita State. It was definitely some great memories with my friends, built a lot of relationships, and it's something that it's just a special memory I'll always have in the back of my mind. Throughout high school, I always noticed that my legs were always in a lot of pain, for sure. But I didn't really understand what it was. My feet would go numb, and I just thought it was my shoes. And I never really quite got what was going on, and I just kind of pushed through the pain. When I got to Wichita State, I joined the track team here, of course, and that was when I started to notice something was really wrong with my body and my legs in specific. It was about my sophomore year, right before my sophomore year, my sophomore season actually, when things started to progress for the worst, for sure. And it was in July, actually, when we started fall training, and it got to the point where my legs hurt so bad I couldn't walk. It was excruciatingly painful. I had numbness and tingling in my legs. My legs were swollen so much. But what was so frustrating about it was no one knew quite what was wrong. It was a very difficult time for sure, because you're in this situation where you're in a lot of pain, and in the past you've been able to push through every injury before, and you get into collegiate track where you're with the best of the best athletes, and you are in so much pain, but you don't know what's wrong with you. I met with a doctor from Casper, Wyoming, and he was a specialist, and I had a consultation with him, and I was diagnosed with chronic exertional compartment syndrome and popliteal artery entrapment syndrome. So basically what that is, and this is in very basic terms, is when I exercise, my muscles swell so much that they cut off blood flow to my lower legs, and they can cause nerve damage and tissue damage because my muscles push against my nerves and my veins and my arteries in my legs. When I got that diagnosis, I knew that I couldn't do track anymore. I'm injured because there is a defect in my body that I cannot control. And I think when the doctor finally told me what was wrong with me, that was really a turning point for me. I still remember the first time I went out and ran after my first treatment, and I came back in. I think I ran 5 miles because I just didn't want to stop, and I came back in, I talked to my parents, I'm like, I have never felt that good in my life. I go, that is the first time I have not felt pain in my legs, and I go, I never knew what that felt like. So that was by far the most difficult thing to understand about my diagnosis, but when my doctor did tell me what was wrong was easily the best moment that I've had ever before. It was definitely a very difficult time when I was told that I had this injury, because it wasn't something that you can just magically fix. It was something that I have to deal with. And even now, a year later, I'm still dealing with. It's constantly painful every step I take. And it's difficult because you go from being an athlete that can push through anything, that can overcome anything, to being an athlete that can't walk. And it does a lot to your mental state, and you realize how tough it is to lose something you love. My family was very supportive during this time, but it didn't make it any easier for me. I just remember I would stay up at night and just cry and cry and cry because I lost one of the things I love most. I mean, running for me is a way that I can relieve my stress. It's a way that I can escape everything. And for it to just be taken away so quickly is something that's very difficult to understand and to deal with. The doctor that I go to, as I said, he's from Casper, Wyoming, and he is the only doctor in the entire world that does the treatment that I need on my legs. So with the future, with the treatments that I get, in theory, I should probably get about 3 or 4 treatments and be good the rest of my life. So after those 3 or 4 treatments, my muscles will be retrained and will no longer push on my artery and my veins and my nerves. Right now the process has been pretty slow though. I've had 2 treatments already and I am probably going to get a 3rd one here within the next month. But you know, I'm keeping a positive outlook on it. I'm trying to remain in high spirits, and I have hope that it's going to work. And if it doesn't, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I have faith in my doctor and what he believes, and hopefully everything will turn out for the better in the end.